Isn't it crazy how the people you treat the best are always the ones who treat you the worst? It is funny how your kindness becomes the very reason they think they can walk all over you. You give people your heart thinking they'll hold it carefully, and somehow they still manage to drop it like it was nothing. And the worst part is that they act like you're the problem. Like you're too sensitive, too emotional, too soft. As if caring is a weakness. What they don't understand is that your kindness wasn't something you gave because you were stupid. You gave it because you believed in them. You believed in their potential. You believed in the good you thought they had. You believed that if you showed love, they would return it. If you gave support, they would offer it too. If you were loyal, they would never betray you. But life doesn't always work like that. Sometimes you give the best parts of yourself to people who only know how to take. People who see your patience as permission. People who see your silence as surrender. People who see your kindness as an open door they can walk through whenever they want and slam shut whenever it benefits them. And you sit there wondering how someone you cared for could treat you like you don't matter. You ask yourself what you did wrong when all you did was love with honesty. You replay conversations in your head trying to find the moment where everything went off track. You question your value, your heart, your worth, and that confusion, that pain, it's real. It's heavy. But what if I told you that the way they treated you says nothing about you and everything about them? Let me take you into a moment that many people have lived, even if they don't talk about it. Imagine someone in your life, maybe a friend, maybe a partner, maybe even a family member. Someone you never once hesitated to help. You were there when they were sad. You were there when they needed advice. You were there when they felt alone, frustrated, lost, broken. You answered every late-night call. You showed up even when it was inconvenient. You gave your time, your comfort, your emotional energy, and you didn't do this because you wanted something back. You did it because you cared. But that same person was never there for you in the same way. At first, you didn't notice. Kind people don't count favors. You kept giving, kept supporting, kept showing up. But slowly, you began to see the pattern. When they needed something, you were the first name they thought of. But when you needed something, anything, suddenly they vanished. Their phone was dead. They were busy. They forgot. Or worse, they acted like helping you was some kind of burden. You start to feel that familiar sting in your chest. It's confusing how someone can depend on you so much but invest so little in you. How they can trust your kindness but not value your presence. How they can take everything you give but never offer anything back. And that's when it hits you. They don't see your kindness as love. They see it as weakness. Psychology explains this simply. Some people only understand relationships through taking. They don't know how to give. Not because they are incapable, but because they never learned how. They look at someone with a soft heart and think, perfect. They won't fight back. They mistake compassion for permission. So you go through this emotional tug of war. You tell yourself maybe they're stressed. Maybe they're going through something. Maybe they didn't mean it. You give them the benefit of the doubt again and again because that's who you are. But deep inside, a quiet voice says, this isn't right. You deserve better. You try to ignore it. You try to be patient. You try to hold on longer. Then one day, maybe not even a dramatic day, maybe just an ordinary afternoon, you feel something shift. You realize you're tired. Not the kind of tired that sleep can fix. The kind of tired that comes when your heart is worn out. When you've been giving pieces of yourself to someone who never bothers to look at you fully. And something inside you breaks, not in a bad way, but in a freeing way. You finally see the truth. You were never a fool. You were never weak. You were never too nice. You were simply loving the wrong person with the right heart. You begin to understand that kindness doesn't mean letting people hurt you. Compassion doesn't mean allowing disrespect. Forgiveness doesn't mean ignoring patterns. And love doesn't mean losing yourself in the process of caring for others. So you start making changes. You stop answering every message right away. You say no without apologizing. You let people solve their own problems. You give your time only to people who value it. And something beautiful happens. You feel your peace returning. You feel your strength coming back. You feel like yourself again. It surprises you because for so long you thought being kind meant always being available. But now you see clearly that kindness is something you choose to give, not something others are allowed to drain from you. Then comes the funniest part. The people who once took you for granted suddenly notice the shift. They notice that you're not as open, not as giving, not as available. And they panic. Because the truth is they depended on your kindness more than you ever depended on their presence. They come back with excuses. They come back with half-hearted apologies. They come back pretending nothing happened. But you're not the same anymore. You're wiser, you're stronger, you're calm. You learned the most important lesson. Your kindness is powerful, but it's not free. It's not for anyone who treats it like a weakness. It's not for people who tear you down. Your kindness is a treasure, and only people who respect it deserve to receive it. You may still care. You may still love. You may still help people. But now you do it with boundaries, with awareness, with self-respect. You've grown into someone who understands that being good-hearted doesn't mean being blind. And that is real strength. If this spoke to your heart, if you felt even a piece of your own story in these words, then take a moment right now to support this video. Like it so more people like you can find it. Comment your story so someone else can feel less alone. Subscribe so you don't miss the next message made for people with hearts like yours. You're not weak for being kind. You're powerful. And I'm proud of you for not giving up on your heart.